It was called the Manuscript of Shadows, a relic whispered about in hushed tones, hidden away in a crumbling monastery deep within the Carpathian Mountains. For centuries, the legends warned of its power, a book that promised unimaginable riches and secrets of immortality, but demanded a horrifying price. The villagers nearby knew better than to seek it, believing the manuscript itself was alive, feeding on the souls of the curious and the greedy. But for a group of treasure hunters, the lure of such a treasure was irresistible. Led by Marcus, an ambitious archaeologist, the group ventured into the ruins. The monastery was cloaked in an eerie silence, its walls blackened as if scorched by an unseen fire. Deep in the catacombs they found it, a chest bound in chains, its lock corroded with age. The chest gave way with an unsettling creak, revealing the manuscript. Its cover was smooth yet cold to the touch, black as obsidian, with faint crimson veins that seemed to pulse. The air grew dense as Marcus lifted it, and a low hum began to vibrate through the catacombs. "Just an old book," one of the hunters scoffed, but even his voice trembled. That night, they camped in a clearing not far from the monastery. As the others slept, Marcus couldn't resist opening the manuscript. The pages were pristine, untouched by time, filled with symbols that glowed faintly in the moonlight. He began to read aloud, his voice shaky yet determined. At first, nothing happened, but as the final syllable left his lips, the world around him shifted. The campfire flickered violently, casting grotesque, elongated shadows on the trees. A sudden wind howled through the clearing, though the air was still. "Did you feel that?" one of the hunters whispered, jolted awake. But Marcus didn't respond. His eyes were fixed on the book, its pages now blank, save for a single line written in blood-red ink: "The toll is due." The hum grew louder, transforming into an unbearable screech. The fire extinguished itself, plunging them into darkness. And then came the whispers. They were faint at first, like distant voices carried on the wind, but they grew louder, more distinct and utterly inhuman. "Who's there?" one of the hunters shouted, clutching a flashlight. The beam sliced through the dark, revealing nothing. Yet the whispers persisted, wrapping around them like a suffocating fog. Then, one by one, they began to vanish. The first to go was Claire, whose scream was cut short as the shadows swallowed her whole. Then Jacob, who tried to run, only to be dragged into the woods by unseen hands. Marcus could do nothing but stare as his team disappeared around him. The manuscript seemed to glow brighter, the symbols searing themselves into his vision. He tried to shut it, but his hands were frozen, compelled to keep reading. A figure emerged from the darkness, a towering, skeletal entity draped in tattered robes. Its hollow eyes burned with a malevolent light as it reached out toward Marcus. The whispers ceased, replaced by a voice that seemed to echo from every direction at once. "You have summoned me. Now you will pay the price." With a bone-chilling scream, Marcus was pulled into the shadows. When the sun rose, the clearing was empty. The manuscript lay in the ashes of the extinguished fire, its pages pristine once more, waiting for its next victim. Weeks later, a hiker stumbled upon the ruins of the camp. The manuscript, oddly untouched, seemed to call to him. Ignoring the eerie silence and the uneasy feeling creeping up his spine, he picked it up. The curse had found a new beginning.